LoreWarrior vehicles, the Hesiod utility vehicle / Saturn harvester. The new star of Earthworks' civilian vehicle range, the Hesiod, is a rugged all-terrain utility vehicle. Powered by a combustion engine renowned for its ability to run on almost anything, the Hesiod is valued for low running costs and reliability. But what really sets it apart from other civilian vehicles is the use of omni technology, derivative from the latest military equipment. A variety of modular agricultural tool allowing the Hesiod to replace a host of specialized vehicles. The most commonly used options include a combine unit, a lift hoist, a bulldozer, and a cargo model. Developed in the Free Worlds League in 3060, the Hesiod is now manufactured by all branches of the company. The turmoil of the Fedcom Civil War had a major impact on sales in Lyran and FedSun space, but sales in the Free Worlds League more than compensated. Hard-pressed to meet demand, Earthworks and Free Worlds League began shipping in vehicles produced in the Capellan Confederation. This almost triggered strikes amongst the Bernardo-based workers who feared the precedent of using cheaper Capellan labour to do their jobs. However, rumours that the foreign-built vehicles were substandard caused Earthworks even more difficulties. While Earthworks and Free Worlds League maintain that there is absolutely no evidence that their sister company's quality assurance system is any less rigorous than their own, the Bernardo plant has been expanded to meet demand, and importation has been discontinued. Within the last few months, there's even been encouraging signs of growing demand in other Innisphere states. While Earthworks sees the Hesiod as the future of agricultural vehicles, the mighty Saturn harvester represents the company's past. First introduced in 2652, this giant machine was intended to fill the requirement for highly automated equipment. With new water purification and terraforming technology opening up many worlds for settlement, the colonists were finding their manpower stretched to the limit. Although considerably more expensive than a fleet of smaller vehicles, the three-man crew of the Saturn can cover the same acreage as a team of 5 larger. The crews of these vehicles often follow a nomadic lifestyle, travelling in mighty convoys as they follow the shifts of the seasons and the harvest. With virtually unlimited range provided by a fusion power plant, the harvesters can operate independently of road networks and are fully amphibious. Vehicles often carry automatic food processing equipment that can accommodate both food crops gathered through a combine system and meat animals. Earthworks promotional material proudly announces that their system can go from hoof to freeze pack in under 20 minutes. Conveyor and cargo lifts allow the vehicle to offload packaged products even on the move. And although the original reasons behind the Saturn's design faded as populations grew, they remain in service on many worlds. The capability of processing on-site eliminates the cost of transporting waste material that will only be discarded later. In large-scale operations, the savings can be considerable, certainly more than enough to justify keeping these titans of the fields in service. I really like that write-up. That was cool. I like that one. I believe the smaller vehicle in the front of the art is the actual Hesiod, and obviously the gigantic thing in the background is the Saturn. But yeah, the Hesiod vehicle, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the idea of omni technology being written in and used for civilian agricultural vehicles, that's sweet. I like that, and being able to bring it in there. You also got these like weird alien sort of brachiosaur giraffe things. I assume they're going to. One of them's going to go in the Saturn for fucking processing and harvesting. So the Hesiod is a 7-ton wheeled medium vehicle, which that's on the artwork there. It has a cruise of 4 and a flank of 6, should you need it. It has an alcohol fuel engine. It's got 5 and 5 except for the rear on armor, and obviously has no weapons, but it does have different configurations. It's got configuration 1 is apparently 3 ton of cargo with a rear door. Configuration 2 is 0.5 standard tons of cargo with a rear door, but it features off-road and 3 tons of omnipod space, chassis and control modification for a combine on the front. Configuration 3 is a ton of cargo, but it features off-road and omni, another 3 tons of space, and it has a bulldozer modification. And configuration 4 is one that has the lift hoist, giving it an extra, no cargo space, but basically 3 tons of lift space on the front. The Saturn Harvester, on the other hand, is 175 tons. It can move 2 on cruise and 3 on flank, and it has 25 armor on the front, 18 on the sides, and it has 18 on the rear. In fact, it's so big, it has a front, right and left, and a rear, right and left side, for the sheer scale of this thing. It has it does mention fuel, but it doesn't actually sort of tell you what fuel it is, but there you go. It has 21.5 tons of cargo, standard and can carry 12 tons of refrigerated, or 10.4 tons of cargo with a single rear door. It's amphibious with control modifications, crew of 3, and it has 21 tons combined, 2.5 tons front, and some lift hoists on the rear. The vehicle is, massive. Again, I did have an idea of a vehicle like this being used as part of a couple of long-term missions. The idea of possibly raiding vehicles like this. This is a prime target for things like pirates, for instance. Being able to basically disable a vehicle and just make out like bandits, stealing a shitload of food and other items from the Saturn harvesters, or even being able to maybe infiltrate a location using a Saturn harvester, a vehicle that can basically go across multiple terrain types. It's amphibious, it can cross water and stuff like that. The idea of players being assigned a mission to get inside enemy territory using one of these vehicles, pretending to be farmers. Hello, all right, my lover, I am my Saturn harvester, and we're not sent here. Weapons, no, don't look over like that. No, unless you count my wit. That kind of thing. Sneaking into a location, that kind of thing, or these being used by an enemy faction to get inside. Having a load of troopers, stowed away, and jumping out, fucking raiding a place, that kind of thing. There's a few ideas, but it's cool. I like the write-up again, as bringing in the idea of the Omni technology into the Hesiod, the Saturn, with the sort of the almost kind of soulless idea of all these animals kept inside and just being slaughtered on the move, and then being butchered and processed as it goes, and then just being able to just kind of drop the processed goods out the back as it continues on its way. You can imagine these things doing a bit of a rotation around a few different sites on a continent, and they're just collecting crops as they go through their route. They gather them up, it's all processed, and they end up from one spot to the next, drop it off, continue on. It's almost, it's kind of, I don't know, to me it's a little horrible at the same time, but it's also kind of cool. It makes perfect sense, especially in some of the locations of Battletech's universe, being sometimes these vast worlds that might not have very large population centers, but they certainly have, obviously a lot of agricultural space. A planet like Galtor comes to mind, because that was a planet that obviously had a lot of agriculture as one of its main sort of economic bases. So you can imagine things like Saturn harvesters, since given their age, that there'd be a load of those driving around that kind of planet and picking up goods and processing and that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. I like it. It's always nice to have that kind of expansion of the Battletech universe, seeing the stuff that just regular people would be seeing on a regular basis, for instance. It's not all battle mechs and power armor, for instance. So that was the Hesiod utility vehicle and the Saturn harvester. Thank you for listening as always, and I will catch you for the next one. Bye bye.